Welcome to the On Deck podcast presented by LineStar. I'm Shannon Sommerville here with Tyler Wiemann, ready to break down this Monday, July 11th daily fantasy slate. We've also got some prop bets to get to as well. Today is National Mojito Day, National Swimming Pool Day. So if you've got a nice pool, take a little dip.
They go in combo.
All-American Pet Photo Day. My whole camera roll is just filled of pictures of my dog. So I got that one covered.
I had a lot of my dog until I had a kid. Now it's
replaced.
Yeah.
Aww. National Free Slurpee Day at 7-Eleven.
Oh, yeah. Good old 7-Eleven.
Yep. We had quite the hot topic last week with National Ice Pop Day, and we talked about what the best flavors were of that. So
lucky for us, we have a 7-Eleven on the corner.
There we go.
We can walk up and we can test them all.
What is your favorite Slurpee flavor? Because this is a totally different.
With the I gotta do like the suicide, a little of everything every time.
Oh, you mix and match.
I gotta mix them up with a Slurpee.
That's crazy.
Is that just too much for you?
Wild.
That's
too
wild.
Wild.
Is it as wild as Zach Wilson?
Not quite. I'm just pretty, basic with my blue Slurpee.
The blue Slurpee, huh?
Yes.
Blue Slurpee,
Cannot go wrong.
Blue freeze pops. You just don't change it
classic. Up? I'm trying to think if there's any. No, I like cherry for. What's it called? Italian ice. That's
Italian ice.
That's what I can venture out of my comfort zone.
With Slurpees, though, I got to go one or two flavors. I can't just do one flavor with them.
Doesn't it just
so much
weird?
more fun?
No?
So much more fun.
Well, you know what else is fun this slate today, and some MLB storylines we've got going on today. So rumble in the NL East today. The Mets visiting the Braves, who are just a game and a half back from them in the standings. So this should be a great one.
Big series.
Big series for them. The Orioles and the Mariners. The hottest teams in baseball right now, okay? Both on an 8-game win streak. They're off today, but the longest unbeaten streak for the Orioles since 2005.
And they're pushing for the wild card, too.
Sure
they
are.
could actually be buyers at the trade deadline. That's crazy.
Blue Jays and Mariners, to your point, are tied for that third AL wild card spot.
The Orioles team payroll is less than Max Scherzer.
Wow. That is wild. Fun to see that all happening all before the All-Star break. It's crazy that we're about halfway through the season now. We've also got some players who are on a hot streak as well. And we've got to talk about Matt Carpenter. The man with the stash has 10 home runs in 26 games this season. Love to see that for the Yankees.
I saw somebody calling him my creepy uncle because that stash.
I saw that as well. As long as he keeps hitting dingers.
You don't care.
We're good. Corey Seager slashing 462, 526, 923 with 4 home runs in his last 7 games. Have yourself a week, kid.
He has a decent matchup today, too.
There you go. And taking a look at some weather notes for today in Daily Fantasy, we've got Phillies at Cardinals. Busch Stadium is going to be about 97 degrees today with wind blowing out 8 miles an hour. Tigers at Royals, hot and humid at Kauffman Stadium, which is pretty hitter-friendly. Now, it's not home run, boosting there, but you do see a lot more offense at Kauffman Stadium, especially when it's hot and humid like it is today, which leads me to my point. Make sure you check out our Park Factors video, and you can see a breakdown of how weather impacts all these stadiums. We've also got White Sox at Guardians, warm winds blowing out to right, so some nice conditions there for hitters. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to hit like and subscribe and comment below. Let us know what your favorite Slurpee flavor is. Always like to hear what you guys have to say about that. Last week was kind of a hot topic. We had the comments were popping about
comments were
flavors of ice pops. Let's get to our chalk report for today and talk about our highest owned pitchers in daily fantasy for today to get you set. We're first going to talk about Phillies righty Aaron Nola going up against the Cardinals today. 42% owned on DraftKings, 35% owned on FanDuel. And Nola's been great. 3.15 ERA, 2.16 opponent average. Last game, 7 2/3, gave up 3 earned runs, just 3 strikeouts, which I believe was his lowest strikeout output of the season versus the Nationals. And the Cardinals, though, are good against right-handers. So Are you surprised that ownership is this high given the fact that the Cardinals are a great hitting team?
No. The three guys we're going to talk about for high owned, like all of them are much better than everybody else. And so it doesn't really surprise me that these three are head and shoulders above everybody as far as ownership goes. But Nola's great, and he's been spectacular this season. However, he does only have a 3-star alert score today. As you mentioned, St. Louis is great versus righties. But in 50 plate attempts, they're hitting 152 against him. So they haven't done well. There is only an 18% strikeout rate in those 50 plate attempts, but they haven't been able to hit him. LineStar is projecting a 24.4 combined K rate for him today, so he's in a decent spot. I like him more than Scherzer, who we're about to talk about.
Max Scherzer going up against the Braves today in a huge battle there in Atlanta. 42% owned on DraftKings, 34% owned on FanDuel. Now, last game, let's see, he had a 2.26 ERA, 193 opponent average is what he's pitching for the season. Last game Tuesday, Mad Max just 2 hits in 6 scoreless versus the Reds. So that was the first time we had seen him in a little bit. He had been injured. Braves are 8th though versus righties. What do you expect from Mad Max today?
The one thing I want to talk about there is because he did go 6 innings, which everybody kind of expects out of Max, but he only threw 79 pitches. So if he is limited today, you may not be getting the full, Max Scherzer going 100 pitches, something like that. Now with him, they will move up his pitch counts a little quicker than most because he's a vet, but he's also coming back being hurt, so who knows? So definitely make note of that, and that is a big reason why I like Nola more than Scherzer. Just a little more confidence in how deep he'll go. But Scherzer obviously has huge upside versus strikeout heavy team, so I like him. He does only have a 2.5 alert score today, but it is 25.5 combined K rate. And I really don't need to talk too much about Scherzer. I mean, it's Max Scherzer.
How about Braves lefty Max Fried, who's on the other side of that matchup against the Mets? 39% owned on DraftKings, 16% owned on FanDuel, and a 2.52 ERA, 2.31 opponent average. And last time he faced the Mets, 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts for him. But the Mets are number 1 versus righties. Against lefties, though, is where they drop down a little bit. Do you like this matchup for Fried today?
Yeah, they're kind of like league average versus lefties. So out of the 3 of these guys, like he has the best matchup. Fried has been spectacular. But he doesn't have quite the K upside that Nola and Scherzer do, 21.4 combined K rate. However, in his BVP and 112 plate attempts, the Mets are striking out 26% versus him. They're also only hitting 255, so he's done well versus the Mets.
Crazy how the Braves have just closed that gap.
They just got so hot.
Started the season. I think what did they have, a double-digit lead for that?
Yeah.
Number 1 spot, and then the Braves.
Yeah. And Kuna has actually hit really well off Scherzer. I don't know if you saw that in the good old daily matchup. Yeah.
Interesting nugget there.
I think it was like 21 plate attempts. He's hitting like 350 with 2 home runs.
Scherzer. Yeah. Huh. Interesting. You know what else is interesting? Our low-owned pitchers. Let's take a look at Giants righty Alex Cobb going up against the D-backs today. 21% owned on DraftKings, and he's got a 4.74 ERA, 2.73 opponent average. He is better at home. This game is in San Francisco. Last game against the D-backs, he gave up 4 earned runs on 7 hits, 6 innings pitched, just 3 strikeouts. The D-backs are 28th versus right-handed pitching, so in that respect, favorable for Cobb. Is that what you're looking at with this matchup?
Yeah, I definitely noticed that the home road splits, and I do really like that also against the Diamondbacks, which we like to pick on them.
Sure.
But he's also been good, 3.3 over his last 20. The combined K rate today is only 19%, so not a huge upside, but he's super cheap. 4-star alert rating. At home, opponents only hitting 250. Also, at home, he's almost striking out 11 batters per 9, whereas on the road, it's like 7.5 per 9. So not only has he been better limiting hits, better ERA at home, also striking out a lot more batters at home.
All right. On the other side of that matchup, we've got D-backs righty Merrill Kelly, and he's got a 3.41 ERA, 2.36 opponent average. Looking at the Giants, well, they are also bottom of the barrel in terms of average versus right-handed pitching. So do you like Merrill Kelly for today? Yeah,
Kelly is super low owned, pretty much not owned at all on the slate. I think it's like 2% on both sites, 3-star alert rating, 3.4 FIP over his last 5. And the projected San Francisco hitters strike out 26% versus righties, so there is some upside there. Our combined K rate is 23%, which is right there aligned with Fried, Scherzer, and Nola. And in 80 plate attempts, Giants are only hitting 230 off him, so done well.
Let's talk about Red Sox righty Brayan Bello. He's going up against the Rays today. 15% owned on DraftKings now in his only MLB action. 4 earned runs on 6 hits in 4 innings pitched. Just 2 strikeouts against the Rays last week. Although this one is at the Trop this time. Very pitcher-friendly venue. And the Rays are 26 in average versus right-handed pitching. So what do you like about this play for today?
So he had a rough outing last time.
That he did.
But he is a big-time prospect. Strikes out 12.6 batters per 9, 2-point ERA in the minors. And Tampa Bay strikes out a decent amount. They almost strike out 25% versus righties. So I like his upside here, and he still is super cheap. So right now it's showing, only 15% owned. I would expect that to go up a little bit.
Yeah.
As I don't think a ton of people play 2 of the stud pitchers together.
Sure.
So I like him. He has a nice upside.
Sometimes you just need to get that first game under your belt and get the cobweb,
Yeah,
get used to it.
The one thing that's kind of weird about it is it's against the same team.
Yeah.
And so you're seeing him twice in 2 weeks or in a week. He got blown up by him a little last time. And he was high owned last time too. So that's a factor that might keep his ownership a little down.
Sure. Let's take a look at our stack report today and see what people are doing in terms of their stacks. We'll start off with our high own, and we're talking about the Padres and Colorado because this game is at Coors Field. Padres are going up against Rockies righty Jose Urena, who is previously with Milwaukee, acquired by the Rockies, and he pitched for them last week against the Dodgers, in which he held the Dodgers to a respectable 1 earned run on 5 hits, so not too bad. Looking at Urena's numbers, 2.51 ERA, 2.31 opponent average. However, welcome to Coors Field, buddy.
Yeah, and he's been bad in the minors. He's like a 7 ERA in the minors, so that's why everybody's going here. That, along with the fact the game total's 12, which is 3 runs higher than every other game. So obviously ownership is going to come flooding in here. But like you said, Urena was decent last game, and he's facing a Padres team that hitting-wise they've been meh. So personally, if this is super high owned, I don't know if I can trust the Padres here.
Okay, yeah. I guess that jersey uniform couldn't spark their offense. What do you think? That
funny.
uniform color?
Funny.
Robin's egg blue, was it?
We
Did you get a jersey of it?
No, but we may have a LFG SD shirts coming our way.
Oh. All right, let's take a look at the Rockies going up against Padres lefty Sean Manaea. 4.18 ERA, 2.25 opponent average in last game. 4 earned runs on 8 hits in 3 1/3 against the Mariners. Just not a great outing for him. And then, poor guy. Now he has to play a Coors Field where Rockies might tee off on him.
The thing that's hard with Manaea is he has been better away. 3.88 ERA away, 4.5 at home, but Coors isn't your average away.
Nope.
Other thing is Rockies are really good versus lefties. 350 WOBA, 18% K rate, 163 ISO, and in 40 plate attempts, they're hitting 361 off Manaea with 2 home runs, 278 ISO. So they've hit him hard, hit him well, and Colorado is the highest projected stack on LineStar today.
Oh, wow. So do you think it's warranted to kind of jump in on some of this ownership, or is it worth maybe fading a bit?
San Diego looks much higher owned than Colorado, so I don't know if I would fade Colorado. And if I had to choose one of the two, I'd probably go with Colorado. I think they are the better offense versus lefties, especially right now Machado finally started hitting again, but we'll see if that continues.
All right, let's take a look at some low-owned plays for today. We're going to start off with Cleveland going up against White Sox righty Lance Lynn, who's got a 5.33 ERA. Last game, he did give up 5 earned runs, including a home run in 5 innings pitched against the Twins. So he has given up a lot of runs. He hasn't looked like the Lance Lynn I think a lot of people are expecting.
Yeah, and his StatCast data hasn't been great. 37% fly balls, 27% line drives. So when they're making contact against him, they're making good contact. It's also almost 90 degrees. Wind blowing out. 4.3. He has a 4.3 FIP over his last 5, just to kind of show that he hasn't been great lately.
Yeah.
And they've implied total of 4.5. So they, sports books are saying they're going to score some runs.
How about the Phillies going up against Cardinals righty Miles Michaelis, who's got a 2.72 ERA, 2.12 opponent average, pretty solid. Last game against the Phillies, 2 earned runs, including a home run, 6 hits in 5 1/3, just 1 strikeout in that game. So although Michaelis has done well against the Phillies, they have gotten to him in the past. What do you like about this matchup for today?
Well, it's almost 100 degrees. The winds are blowing out. Michaelis has been decent, or is a decent pitcher, but he can be hit. And in 2 of the last 3 outings versus the Phillies, he's given up 4 runs. So they have got to him a little bit in the past. He's allowing a lot of barreled balls in that heat. Wind going out, the ball could definitely go out. And Phillies have a high 183 ISO versus righties. So I like it. It really just depends on if Michaelis is on his game or not. But pretty much with all of these stacks today, I was trying to figure out one that could kind of match the offense out of San Diego, Colorado that we expect.
Those temperatures near triple digits.
Exactly. And that's pretty much why I'm there.
Let's talk about the Red Sox going up against the Rays. Now, it had been TBD. I think is it Josh Fleming going for them?
It could be Fleming, but I think he's going to be either a bulk reliever or the starter. Sure. It could be Matt Weisler, too.
Okay. So, from a Red Sox point of view, you liking those bats today?
Yeah, and it's really if Fleming is the starter or long reliever, which I expect him to be one of them. They just have kind of teed off him. 56 plate attempts. They're hitting 340 with 2 home runs. And we know the Boston offense is good. So I'll keep going back to that.
All right. So you can find all of this information at the LineStar app, all the information on ownership. And that could give you a really big, step ahead in terms of everyone in daily fantasy. Make sure you check it out, linestarapp.com, and subscribe today. Prices are just $19.99. They will go up during football season, so make sure you lock that price in right now before football season starts. I know you got drafts coming up, so it could help prepare you for that as well. Check it out, linestarapp.com. And now we're going to take a look at our sleeper picks of the day. Taking a look at our sleeper picks for today on the LineStar app, we sort by value, and on DraftKings, it'll be Eric Hosmer, who's our sleeper pick for the day, $2,100. So a nice price there. We know he's playing at Coors Field today, which is probably one of the reasons why LineStar really likes him. Let's pull up his players card. And if we scroll down to the alerts here, he's got a 4 out of 5 star alert, batting 5th. Coors Field, of course, is a huge factor in that, hitting 556, 889 against Arena in his last 9 plate appearances against him, averaging 3.11 fantasy points per plate appearance in that. He's also 8 fantasy points per game in 31 high-scoring games, 5.99 over 70 games. And so LineStar is liking him. Of course, that Coors Field game, and at that price, not a bad play there. Now let's take a look at our FanDuel sleeper pick for the day. And it's going to be Seth Brown, the Oakland A's first baseman outfielder. He's got a projection of 10.32 points. If we pull up his player card, we can learn more about this particular play. And we can see yesterday he was productive as a late lineup addition. He went 1 for 3 with an RBI fielder's choice in the win over the Astros. Scrolling down to his alert score, we can learn more about his particular matchup for today. He is the expected starter batting third. And a top 10% hitter versus right-handed pitcher with 2.76 fantasy points per plate appearance. So Seth Brown is going up against Spencer Howard for the Rangers, 262nd against left-handed bats, giving up a 308 fantasy points per plate appearance. So some favorable numbers there. And at that price point of $2,200 on FanDuel, he could make a nice addition to your lineup. Remember, for more value plays like the ones that you see right here, make sure to check out LineStarApp.com. You can find all this information and all the great lineup information that you need to help you optimize your lineup. So check it out, LineStarApp.com. Now it's time for our home run calls of the day. Quite simply, who do we think is going yard today? Tyler, who you got today?
I am going to pick on my San Diego Padres, and I'm going with C.J. Cron for a home run versus Sean Manaea. Manaea's given up 2 home runs in 10 innings pitched in Colorado, and 13 of his 14 home runs have come against a righty bat. So I think Cron is going to hit one out today. He was also just selected to the All-Star game, his first one, so he might be a little excited and ready to show off for his fans.
I've also got an All-Star. I'm going Jose Ramirez. J-Ram, I think he's going yard today. He's going up against White Sox righty Lance Lynn, and J-Ram is a switch hitter who absolutely mashes righties as a lefty bat. In fact, his slugging percentage against righties is 200 points higher than it is against lefties at 639. And then Lance Lynn, on the other side of that, has much worse splits against lefty bats, giving up a 327 average to lefty bats. And in 17 at-bats against Lynn, Ramirez has a 353 average with 3 home runs in there as well. There's some warm temperatures at Progressive Field. Wind's blowing out a little bit. J-Ram, All-Star, going yard today. Both got some All-Stars in there
I like
today.
that one. He was popping up pretty high on the daily matchup
he sure
pool,
was.
So,
and remember, you can play along as well by retweeting us on Twitter at LineStar App. And if one of our calls gets it right, you could win a nice prize, some cash, or a free LineStar subscription. So check that out as well. Now it's time for our prop bets of the day. And you can play along with us here right on YouTube if you like, subscribe, and comment below, anything below. And if both of our picks get it, you could win a prize. Now, you can find both of our picks available on the Underdog app. And if you click the link below and you're a new user and you deposit at least $10, you could get your deposit matched up to $100. So it's a great deal. We'll drop that link below that you can play along as well. And even if you're in a state like us in California where sports betting not entirely illegal, but Underdog is legal here, we can play that in the different props because it is considered a fantasy sports game still. So check that out. Now, for our prop bets for today, Tyler, where are you going?
I am going with the rookie, Brayan Bello, over 4 Ks. Bello strikes out 12.6 batters per 9 in the minors, and he's facing a Tampa Bay team that strikes out almost 25% versus righties. Over 4 Ks is also minus 220 on FanDuel, so we're getting great value with him on Underdog. So I love it. The judging by the line, you're expecting about 65% chance that over hits. So in this situation, I absolutely love that value.
Yeah, going with the rook. I'm going with Guardians' Jose Ramirez. He's my home run call for today. I just think he has an awesome matchup today against White Sox righty Lance Lynn. J-Ram, again, is a switch hitter who does much better as a lefty bat against righties. In fact, he has a 1032 OPS against righties, and Lynn, again, much worse against lefties. He gives up a 327 average to lefty bats. And in 17 at-bats against Lynn, Ramirez, 353 average and 3 home runs. I'm just going to keep saying that stat because I think this is just a great matchup today. Warm temps, wind blowing out at Progressive. I think Jose Ramirez is going over 1.5 bases. You can find that on Underdog. It is also at -110 in some of the different sports books as well. So Jose Ramirez, J-Rams going over that 1.5 bases mark. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for All-Star Week. That's coming up.
I know. It is. This is the last week before All-Star.
I know. I'm interested to see how Home Run Derby will, pan out. Are people going to be in it? It's always one of those things. Like the All-Star game is always like, are they actually going to?
I'm so over these commercials for like, the first time Hollywood gets the Home Run Derby. It's everywhere. So
you don't like
so
that?
So over them.
Don't like that? They had the uniform reveal. They look nice. They're gold. They have like.
Yeah.
You're over. Yeah. You're not about it.
Yeah. It's LA.
It's fine.
It's LA.
Well, I'm excited for it.
Nah, it's always fun. The Home Run Derby's always fun. Mm-hmm. Vladdy's out, but hopefully we get some others.
I want to see Goldie in the Home Run Derby.
Yeah, I doubt he does it.
We'll see. You know what? Years ago, I actually did, because they had so many players opting out of it. Mm-hmm. I was actually curious to see, is there actually a slump? And there actually wasn't.
Yeah.
That wasn't really a thing. I guess players are just wanting to rest. You get it. It's a long season, right? Like when you have a few days off, you just want to rest your body. So that's coming up. We'll also try to get some kind of a preview of some of the breakdowns of the All-Star game later this week.
All right. I like it.
All right. And just make sure you hit like and subscribe for more videos. You can check out our YouTube channel. Keep up with us on Twitter and here on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on Simplecast, well, thank you for listening. And Absolutely. Be sure to check us out on all of our other channels as well. That's going to do it for us today. We'll see you tomorrow. Good luck in all of your daily fantasy and your sports betting today. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Bye.